Live in Zanesville right now. I'm going to toss it back on down to Bob in Chillicothe. Bob?
All right, Dana, thank you. As a matter of fact, they were doing the public address checks here about an hour and a half ago, and yeah, those names were coming up. So yeah, they'll be speaking here tonight, the governor and the senator and many other luminaries in the Republican Party. This, of course, a traditionally Republican county, although in the last election it voted for John McCain, one of the few times that it did not vote with the rest of the state, which actually went to Mr. Obama. Today over at the Obama headquarters, which, by the way, was the first Obama headquarters set up in the state of Ohio for this particular campaign, there was a small rally, took part with some small business owners and seniors and volunteers, all gathering to express their concerns over the Romney plan to extend Bush-era tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans. And 15th Congressional District candidate Pat Lang was there. He described Vice Presidential candidate Paul Ryan's Medicare reform plan as handing seniors a coupon to take into the marketplace, and if it's enough to cover their health insurance, great. If not, the feds will wipe their hands of that person. Susie Burke is a former Republican candidate here, and she's now in the Obama camp, and she's also a small business owner at the Cross Keys Tavern, and very concerned about, ironically, conservatives raising her taxes.
For the community, and I'm just afraid we will not be able to afford any cost increases in our taxes.
But these are conservatives we're talking about here. Shouldn't your taxes drop? Don't you see them dropping as a small business owner?
I would be happy if they would. Well, because it's the issue with the people who are making scads of money. You know, I see that they are going to be not hurting as much as the rest. I think we all should play. You know, I see that they are going to be.
Now, Democrats are pretty upset here, actually, in Chillicothe tonight because of where they're being forced to stand by the Secret Service and the planners of this particular stop. Dottie Fay, who's a former chair of the Obama campaign back in '08 in Ross County, led me to the spot where they're being forced to stand, and I can't show it to you, and maybe that's by design, but it's out of a camera angle here, about 150 yards down the street here, behind a huge American flag, is a police car, and they can't come any closer than that, and there's what they're calling a secure zone between the grandstands where I am and that police car, and basically, like I say, it's 150 yards of no man's or no woman's land, and certainly no protesters' land, so they're going to be back there and very upset about that exclusion, something they say they didn't do when President Obama was here recently. We're going to be back here before long to talk a little bit about the inclusion of Paul Ryan on the Romney ticket and the effect that that's having as far as energizing conservatives and some concerns that Democrats have with that as well. All of that on the way. For now, back to you in the studio, Yo.
All right, thank you, Bob.
And we're back here at ABC 6 exclusively. Dana J is in our mobile track, a wonderful piece of equipment. This really allows us to really essentially patrol for problems and respond to them in a heartbeat. And Dana has been in mobile track throughout the afternoon, getting to trouble spots and getting us pictures of it. And I understand now that you're on your way to another fire.
Take it slow when you leave downtown.
All right, indeed. Thank you, Steve. Steve Levine down near the State House. Mentioned a moment ago about the house fire believed to be caused by lightning out in the Ostrander area. And I think we see a plume of smoke there. I might have to get a little bit closer with the camera there. The old eyes aren't what they used to be. But yeah, we can see some smoke rising up out of that. Our Tom Bosco, again, is out on that scene. Will get us an update here in time for ABC 6 News at 5 o'clock. One of, I wouldn't surprise me a bit if we saw several fires as a result of all of this lightning, which, as you can see on the lightning stripe map there, is, pardon the pun, striking. It is incredible.
Yeah, you know, you're looking here, talking about those strikes. But for now, Bob, we'll send it back over to you.
Thanks, Bill. Got a few things to cover here. Over to Ostrander we go. We've been telling you about this house fire that we believe was caused by lightning. We have our Tom Bosco on the scene here right now. Unfortunately, Tom can't speak to us, but I think we do have some video that he's providing to us via Skype, and you can see the house fully involved, or at least it appears to be substantially on fire at this point. The smoke white, which is a good sign. It means the firefighters are getting a handle on the blaze right now, at least as far as, well, maybe I speak too quickly there. Now you start to see it getting darker. Fully involved house in the Ostrander area. Fire crews on the scene, battling the fire right now, but it, in retrospect, does appear to be going pretty well. So that house obviously in real trouble, and again, we believe this might be caused by lightning. We'll be looking very carefully for lightning-caused fires, particularly in homes throughout the metro area with the density of lightning in this particular storm. I'm sorry, Ben, once again? Yeah, we have a traffic cam here, that's right. 270 and 315, a little different view than the one we've had earlier. Traffic moving smoothly, which is nice to see. The timing of this storm obviously horrendous here with the afternoon commute, but for the most part, you know, I Again, maybe not as bad as it could have been, because it really came through over the 4 to 5 o'clock hour, starting to move through down the heavily traveled areas. So this, obviously, a lot of water on the road. There'll be a lot of splashback and ponding to contend with for drivers. Lights on for everybody, but it is moving smoothly and consistently, and we haven't got any reports of big traffic backups anywhere throughout the metro area at this point, but we're watching that with our traffic camera network very closely. And should we, of course, discover any big problem areas, Mike Kilburn will have them for you here coming up on ABC 6 News at 5. This view, though, a pretty positive sign. Heavy volumes, but things moving smoothly at 315 and at 270. Carol Looper is at 161 and Morse Road. Also, as a part of our network of reporters out covering the central Ohio area as the storm moves through. Carol, what are you seeing at that area? Yeah, okay. I said 161 in Morse, and that wouldn't have made sense. 161 in Carl. Thank you very much. Carol Looper reporting here tonight out from the northeast part of the metro area. So we have some power outages. Obviously, some 3,500 in Franklin County and Delaware County, roughly the same amount of power out at this point. And we'll get an update from AEP shortly, and also some down power lines we can report on. Areas to avoid include. All right, here's the outage map. Let's go to this. And now we're up. Now we've taken a quantum leap as far as outages here in the last 15 minutes in Franklin County. Almost 10,000, 9,500 customers without power. Please go north down to Delaware County and give us an update there. Yeah, 7,100 customers out in Delaware County. Both of those have essentially doubled since, well, about 4:40 this afternoon. So as the line has moved through, they're getting a better assignment. And obviously, we've got a pretty serious situation as far as power outage goes now, at least for Franklin, Delaware counties. And I guess the question now is how quickly we can get it all back on again. Tom Bosco does have some sound. We can get a description now of what we're seeing at Ostrander with the house fire we've been reporting on. Tom, you believe it was caused by lightning?
You know, we've been told that it was caused by lightning by...
I'm Yolanda Harris.
And good evening, I'm Bob Kendry. It's all now on Fox 28 News at 10.
Fox 28 News at 10 starts now with this breaking news alert.
Fox 28 News at 10 tonight, starting with this breaking news. Investigators on the scene of a violent crime in South Columbus. 3 people in the hospital, at least one of them injured at the intersection of East Whittier and South 17th. Shelby Costo rushing to the scene as soon as the reports came into our newsroom. And she joins us now live. Do police know how this started, Shelby? Thanks, Shelby. New information in a Marion murder that we covered as breaking news last night here at 10. The person of interest in Amy Aldrich's murder was released just before 6 o'clock tonight. Bo Cook is Aldrich's ex-boyfriend and the father to one of her kids. Aldrich was with Cook yesterday, and he was taken away by police shortly after her body was found dead in her cousin's home. Cook posted $25,000 bond this evening. He was charged with having heroin and assaulting corrections officers where he was being held. Cook hasn't been charged in Aldrich's murder. Fox 28 continues to give you new details of a murder where the body was found in a dumpster recently. Police hope that someone recognizes people on the surveillance video we're going to show you here using the victim's credit cards, at least according to police. This video is showing a man walking into the Walgreens on East Livingston, and police say the man is also found on surveillance video from MM&R Carryout on East Main and at a Subway restaurant on Lockbourne. They say that each purchase made by him or someone with him uses Dean Reinhardt's credit cards. Those were stolen just hours before Reinhardt was killed. Time to meet another ABC 6 On Your Side champion. There's a new art gallery set to open in the short north called Blank Walls Are Gross. Artist Giovanni Santiago sees it as part business, part blessing, a chance to sell art and also inspire young people to create.
It's like this.
You need to spread color.
You want to leave your mark on this world.
Spread life.
Even if turning humans into X-Men was all he did, Giovanni Santiago could be called a transformative artist.
Yeah, it looks cool. We're doing some body painting.
But to see how he really hopes to change his world, you need to see his full body of work.
I'm an airbrush artist. That would be my specialty. Wall murals, automotive murals.
Frank, your order's ready?
For example, several graffiti burgers have been his professional playground.
Well, the first one was like, all right, I can pay the bills. And then they called me again like a few months later. I'm like, oh, sweet, yeah. So you guys liked it?
Giovanni knows a guy has to eat, but green is far from the only color that inspires him.
This is how I'm living.
You can see that in a tired old strip mall in Grove City.
Ah, that's my jam, bro.
This is Giovanni's old studio, where the door was always open.
You need more Tupac in here.
To neighbor kids who would wander by, couldn't help but notice something pretty cool was happening inside. He invited them in to create.
Who's to say that I can't stop what I'm doing for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of my day and focus on these kids. Spreading motivation, just spreading just the fact that you can do anything that you want.
We first met Giovanni last spring as he painted a mural at a rec center in Valley View. Soon after, he went to Haiti.
We decorated an orphanage, a hospital, giving them some kind of hope and some kind of color, and not only that, a story that they can tell.
With a palette that's equal parts paint, inspiration, and motivation, Giovanni Santiago is one artist
Life isn't permanent,
who can truly add color to people.
and so I want to leave my mark.
Giovanni, a very spiritual guy. I know he'd want me to mention that his motivation comes from God, and you can find his gallery opening soon on 1st Avenue in the Short North, and he's also on Facebook and Twitter. Giovanni Santiago.
Oh boy, he is good. I was all caught up in the story. Look, he's turned into a viewer right there, you know?
Just got a glimpse of how good he is.
Very talented.
Yeah. Well, On Your Side Champions comes up every Tuesday right here on ABC 6 News at 5. We profile a very interesting person every week, and you can email me your champions. Nominate someone at champs@abc6onyourside.com.